Hi. So today I want to talk about the lie. There is a lie swirling around in your beautiful little head that you are not good enough. And this lie is controlling everything in your life. It ends today because today I have a very special guest. Today I am talking to Brad Yates. Deep breaths, Jeanette. If you don't know who Brad Yates is, you about to get shook, baby. You're about to find out, okay? Because Brad Yates is an amazing EFT practitioner. That stands for Emotional Freedom Technique. And he changed my life. So this is a very, very special live for me. And I'm very, very honored and grateful that he said yes. I'm going to try not to fangirl too much. And so we're waiting for him to join. And I just did a tapping, obviously, so that I could calm down. And I did the tapping on feeling good enough. Because even though, what's up, Brianna? What's up, Nicole? What's up, Sherry Boo? What's up, Boo? We're waiting for Brad to join. And I just did his tapping. I tap every single day because of Brad. And the thing is that even though I know that I'm good enough, we still fall into these tendencies that I don't know. And I'm going to ask Brad why we believe this lie. It's not that we aren't good enough. It's that we think we're not good enough. We believe this lie that we're not good enough. And so we don't go after our dream career, our dream, we don't go after our dream partner. We don't go after that promotion at work. We don't go for what we really want in this life because we don't think we're good enough to get it. And that is so, so sad. You don't want to get to the end of your life and live it with regret. You don't want to have regret in your life. And so, okay, my boo Brad has joined. Ladies and gentlemen, I can stop stalling. Wow, that was only 2 minutes. I did like a whole TED Talk. Guys, we're going to talk today about that lie. There's a lie that you're not good enough. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's not that you're not good enough. It's that you believe you're not good enough. So let me bring Brad in so he can change our lives. No pressure, Brad. No pressure. I'm gonna calm. Let's see.
All right, no pressure. Excellent.
Hey, Brad, what's up?
Hey, Jeanette, so good to see you. I'm sorry, I was sitting there watching, and I was waiting for the thing to say that Ms.FitVegan has gone live, and it didn't come up. So I'm like, oh, she said it was going to be there. So I went to your page, and then I saw it. It's like,
that's okay, Brad. That's okay. I give you a pass.
Thank goodness.
Nobody's trying to do that shit to me. Okay. So I'm going to try to calm down, Brad, because this is a very big honor for me. And you've changed my life. And I'm going to tell everyone how in a minute. But I just want to start with, can you please tell my friends that are watching, what do you do? What is this craziness that you do? And how does it work? What is EFT? And what is this craziness?
What are you talking about? That looks weird. I wouldn't do something like that. I'm like, I don't know who she's talking about.
Wait, Brad, I'll never forget. I saw Brad in person, guys, multiple times, and I'll never forget, Brad. The first time I saw you, I didn't know what the hell was going on. And then you said, 1 minute you're on Days of Our Lives, and the next minute you're standing in front of a room tapping on your face. You had me at that, Brad, because the humor that you use, like it just really, it makes it so much easier to do when you use humor in healing.
Well, I figure when you're going to go out in front of the world on stage and on YouTube and tap on your face, you darn well better have a sense of humor about it. I mean, I'm amazed at anyone who does this work and can take themselves too seriously.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
But
So
yes, what is it? So why do we tap on our face? And it's based on acupuncture. So for thousands of years in Chinese medicine, they've said there's a flow of energy through the body along these pathways called meridians. And when this energy is flowing naturally, we experience our natural state of health and well-being, physically and emotionally. When this energy gets stuck, we don't feel so good, and we don't think as clearly, we don't make the best choices. And so in traditional Chinese medicine, the doctor would stick needles in these key points to stimulate that healthy flow of energy. And we're just using our fingertips to tap that. The main thing is it calms down the nervous system. It calms down that stress response. And if you thought of EFT as nothing other than stress relief, you would see why it's so beneficial in so many areas of our lives, because most, if not all, of the issues that trouble us are either caused by or worsened by stress, including these beliefs about not being good enough, because we have all kinds of messages that may have told us that. And when we try to say, I am good enough, something says, that's not right. We have a stress response. And so this is a great way to calm that down and go, all right, that's a lie. I'm kidding myself. I'm trying to protect myself. You know, we've learned that if I can convince myself I'm not good enough, I'll keep myself safe. You know, you put yourself out there in the world and there's going to be criticism. Believe me, put yourself on YouTube, tap it on your face, and you're going to get some criticism. And so that part that says, oh, you're not good enough to put yourself out there, you think it's going to save you criticism, spare you the criticism, you think it's going to spare you the judgment. But I got news for you. People are going to judge you no matter what. They're going to judge you for going out there. They're going to judge you for not going out there. So you might as well just get over it and, you know, do what you do.
They're going to judge you for being weird. They're going to judge you for being lazy, Brad. It's like, you can't win.
They're going to judge you for not being weird enough.
Well, we don't get that too much. But question, Brad. So many things you've said has changed my life. And one of them is that self-sabotage is just simply misguided self-love. Yeah. Wow, that was powerful. And now I want to know, how did you come into that knowledge? How did you discover that?
Just through years of working with folks and recognizing that all of the things that we do, the stuff that we beat ourselves up for, when we don't eat healthy, and we then beat ourselves up, oh, I'm so stupid, I'm this and that. And it's looking at the function of behavior, because everything we do for some reason, and that reason is generally to try to protect ourselves. You know, if I down a box of Oreos, it's not because I just don't care about my health and I'm just stupid. It's because I have all this old programming telling me that I will feel better from doing that. Because maybe I'm in a stressful situation. Maybe I've just gone through a big argument with somebody. Maybe I've just, been in a car accident. My car, I got to deal with that now, and all these things. And it's just like, I just need to comfort myself. Oh, cookies equal comfort. And so I do that. So it's allowing ourselves to look at those things, even though that is sabotaging our health goals, it's taking care of me in that moment. It's an act of self-love in that moment. And you can take pretty much any behavior we do, the interview that we just forget to show up to, the money that we spend foolishly, whatever it might be, there is something, if we could trace it back, we would see, okay, there's something inside me that said I needed to do that in that moment to protect myself.
Powerful, powerful, Brad. It's these little things that we become aware of that change us and help us change. And Awa just joined the live, Brad.
Hey, Awa.
She set an alarm for this live. She's never set an alarm for any live ever in the history of live. Anyway, but listen, Awa is my best friend. She introduced me to you, and this is why you got to be careful. Your top 5, they will impact your life and change your life and inspire you and influence you. And Awa is obviously in my top 5, and she brought me to a seminar of yours. Yeah.
Love the photo you just posted of Awa. That was it.
Brad. Okay, Brad, I got a lot of questions. I want to ask you a few of them from my followers. One person, Jessica, asked, can you please tell us What is the most memorable example of how tapping has helped make a difference in someone's life?
Oh,
I'm
geez.
sure there are so many, thousands.
Yeah, I mean, on a daily basis, there's, when I have a chance, whether it's when I'm working with someone or sometimes I'll just be a comment in YouTube. Um, it depends on what you're looking at. So like with physical issues, I was at a health fair and someone came up and this guy his back was bothering him, and I just did a quick tapping and they said, oh, okay. And they left and they came back like 2 hours later and the guy said, I don't know if you know this. This is in a park where this fair was, and I had a little booth. And they said, I don't know if you know this. There's another part of the fair where there's a dance floor. And we've been over there dancing. What the heck did you do to me? Because he had said that his back pain was like an 8 out of 10. So the idea of dancing was like not even there. And he comes back and says, we've been out there dancing. My back's not bothering me. So that was really cool. Multiple examples of people who have experiences from the past that have, just mention them, they start to cry thinking about it. And sometimes in a matter of minutes, and I'm not making any promises here that because it's not always this quick, but sometimes in a matter of minutes, we can be tapping and they can just sometimes even be laughing about it and say, some being served with divorce papers or, all kinds of really upsetting things that the person now looks at and goes, okay. So it's phenomenal. And sometimes they're much more long-term where I can look at someone and see where they're at. And, maybe we've been working together for 6 months or something, but being able to watch video of them now versus when I first met them. And there's just a different, a different appearance, just a different lightness that's there.
Yeah. Is everyone, so I know this is going to be hard to judge, but how long do you think it takes for the average person to see results from tapping? I mean, you said somebody saw results in their back pain immediately. What do you see on average? How long do they have to do it a day for how many days?
Thanks, Jeanette, for the really tough questions. Because it's so hard to say because, and people, I get the question all the time, how long am I gonna have to tap? And that's like calling up a gym on the phone and saying, how long will I have to come to the gym and work out before I have a 6-pack abs?
How many bicep curls,
yeah.
Brad? That's what I want to know. How
right.
many curls?
And sight on the scene, it's like, I don't know, what kind of shape are you in right now? And, if someone is 300 pounds overweight, it's going to be a different story than if it's like, okay, I've had a 6-pack, but I've, let it go for the last month or two. It's going to be different. And so often with these emotional things and our limiting beliefs, and especially our beliefs about not being good enough, we don't know all the stuff that's there. So we may think that, theoretically, metaphorically very fit, but we may have, all kinds of extra baggage that we're not aware of. And sometimes it goes very quickly and sometimes it takes longer. But in terms of noticing a difference, like someone wrote a comment on a video the other day saying, I've been tapping for months and nothing's happened. But I think it was on my video of tapping for $1 million. And I think they were thinking that after, a couple of times tapping on that, they were going to become a millionaire. Great. It could happen. People have seen big shifts financially where a financial windfall happens after you clear some stuff. There's no promise of that. And so someone commented under their comment, it's like, nothing happened? Was there no changes? Like if we're looking at the gym, it's like, if I don't have a 6-pack after the first time I go to the gym, it doesn't work. But generally we notice at least some relief in terms of, feeling more relaxed. I just feel, it's like, I don't know, what's happened. My bank account hasn't changed in the last few minutes, but I just, my shoulders have dropped and there's a lightness because we're all carrying around at least some ambient stress and we don't even realize how that affects us. most of the time we're not even aware of the stuff that is holding us back. And we're, making unfortunate choices. We don't know why. We don't even know, we may not even be aware that we're doing them. Like, it's like if you're single and you want to be in a relationship, and you may say you're in the grocery store and you see there's this attractive stranger over there, and your mind starts going like a chess grandmaster, thinking 50 moves ahead. And you're thinking, I could go up and say hi. They'd say hi back. We might start the conversation. We might find we have some things in common. We might laugh. We might eventually, go out on a date. And that date could lead to a second date and a third date. We might move in together and get married, and they break my heart like the last person. Oh, look, there's a sale on aisle 2. And we're down on aisle 2 looking at stuff and going, gosh, I wish I could meet somebody. And we're consciously unaware of what happened. We didn't even think, we're not even aware that we saw that person. And we're just in there going, why am I single? Why don't I meet anybody? Because that self-sabotage is brilliantly protecting us. It's an act of self-love, because we have all these uncomfortable associations that are going on. And so, as we tap, it would often peeling the layers of the onion, and we start to recognize, oh, I know why I haven't done that. And I see things that I've done that I wasn't consciously aware of. I did an interview with a woman yesterday who had a really terrible relationship, and totally changed her life because of that. And she said, it wasn't until recently, I've been doing this podcast for a while, and you're one of the first guys that I've had on here. I did not even recognize that I was not asking men to be guests on my show. It didn't even occur to her. And it wasn't that you have to have a guy on your show, but she just realized there are people that I'd like to interview that I haven't even allowed myself to think about interviewing because they're men. So we're going throughout the day. We're not even aware of where we have our blinders and where we're not seeing opportunities, because it's an act of self-love. We're just protecting ourselves.
Wow. So do you think that first question is, I believe that every single problem in our lives, and obviously a lot of people come to me because they want to change the way they eat, they want to change their health, they want to feel better, have more energy. I want to know, do you think that's because we feel not good enough, that we're protecting ourselves with that? Is that also, do you believe that the core of all our problems is that we don't feel good enough? That's my first question.
It tends to be the number one issue that people feel, is a feeling of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving. And I believe that at underneath the core of that, there's a part of us that knows that we are. Otherwise, I'll be tapping with folks who have beliefs like this, feeling that I'm not worthy. And part of me knows that I am. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here tapping on my face right now. Because if we didn't feel worthy, we wouldn't keep trying. We would just give up on ourselves.
Ooh, I love
but
that.
there's a part of us underneath. So I don't, I'm not in my office, but I have Michelangelo's David all over my office. I have a picture of him on my watch. I love
that you're obsessed with Michelangelo.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with watermelon. I relate. That's why I like you, because you're obsessed. Yeah. I love it. Okay, sorry.
Not all obsessions are bad.
No, they're not.
What I love.
Also, okay, sorry.
So I loved. I love. The first time I found out about the statue when I was a kid, I thought, oh my God, it's my favorite piece of art. But then I came to realize that it was a great metaphor, because Michelangelo said, the statues are there perfect inside the marble, and all I have to do is chip away what doesn't belong to reveal the masterpiece inside. And I believe that about human beings. To me, it's a perfect metaphor for what we're doing with EFT, because we're just chipping away the false beliefs. So I believe that underneath all of this marble, this excess marble of I'm not good enough, I feel fear, I feel anger, I'm unworthy, that masterpiece is underneath there. And so we're just chipping away all that stuff that came up, whether it was someone telling us you're not good enough, and people say all kinds of stupid crap, and there may have been times that your parents said something along the lines of you're not good enough, and they didn't mean it, but in that moment, You know, they were stressed out. They weren't thinking clearly. Because when we get stressed, our rational mind, the prefrontal cortex, goes bye-bye. And that's when we say and do. That's why, you know, so many political ads are all about fear, because they know that if they scare you, you won't think clear. You go, oh, yes, yes, whatever you say.
Yes, that's how the world is
So,
controlled, through
yeah,
fear. False evidence appearing real. Yes.
yeah. And so so we take on all of that stuff and we get that message, and depending on where we were at when we hear that message, we take it on. It's like, oh, if my mom says I'm not good enough, even though she was saying it because, you know, the refrigerator had just broken down and everything was melting, and she's just like, you're in the way. And I took it to mean, oh, I'm not worthy. I'm just in the way. And it's like totally out of context, but in my young mind, I can't put that together. And so I go through life thinking I'm just in the way. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy of attention, and whatever it might be. And if I try to change that, it's like, well, if I say I'm not in the way, if I say I'm worthy, that's dishonoring mom, because that's what mom had said. And we feel a stress response about that. So as we tap and think about that memory, and we break down that stress and go, oh, right, the refrigerator just broke and mom was totally stressed out. She did not mean that. There's so many other examples of her taking care of me and saying that I'm worthy and loving. And even if that was not your story, because I know there are a lot of people who had parents that were never showed that kind of love. It's allowing ourselves to recognize, okay, that's not about me. That's about their lives. That's about what was going on for them, their circumstances, and allowing ourselves to clear that away and recognize, okay, I am worthy and deserving.
Yes. We cut off for a second, so we had a bad connection. But okay, so now I wanted to know, Brad. Don't kill me. I didn't ask you before this, but can we?
I would never kill
Don't kill me. Can we? Can we do a tapping? I
Oh
know
God,
that.
I'd have been upset if you didn't ask.
I meant to ask you and I didn't. But the thing is that I'm really on this mission to help people feel worthy and deserving of the life that they want.
Me too. How perfect that we're here with this.
The life that they deserve. And, you know, like our mind is crazy sometimes because, like you said, we wouldn't even be watching this. People wouldn't be following you, Brad, watching this if they didn't somewhere believe that they were worthy of that life, of that partner, of that $1 million. And so I'm just wondering if we could do a little tapping on feeling worthy and good enough. And yeah.
You know, one of the last videos I put out was about feeling deserving, so I've already done that. So, you know, that's so last week. No, this is one of my favorite things to tap on, and I had forgotten to ask you ahead of time. Do you want to do some tapping? Because to me, that's my, I mean, it's my favorite thing to do. It's my jam. So absolutely. So what I'd like everyone to do is go ahead and close your eyes.
I'm going to mute myself, Brad. I'm going to mute myself.
All right. So take a deep breath in and hold it. And let it go. And now just breathing comfortably with your eyes closed. Just go ahead and allow yourself to be present right now. Allow yourself to be right here, right now. And following your breath through your body. Just allowing yourself to be aware of what's going on inside. Notice what you feel physically and what you feel emotionally. And imagine looking in a full-length mirror and see yourself and say, I am worthy and deserving. Say, I am plenty good enough. And maybe around you, allowing yourself to imagine what you would like to have in your life. Maybe that's being in a certain place. Maybe imagining your favorite place to go. or creating a new place that you'd like to create. Having what you'd like to have and say, I'm worthy and deserving of this. And rate that on a scale of 0 to 10 as to how true that feels. And allow yourself, don't be judgmental if you come up with a lower number than you expected. Because it's great that you're finding that out. Because if that number is low and you keep dodging that, you're never going to allow yourself to have that. Because it doesn't feel safe to have things we don't feel we deserve. As a child, if you had something that your parents didn't think you deserved, that would not be acceptable. So we have a lot of old programming about why it's not safe to have what we don't deserve, and a lot of old programming about what we feel we don't deserve. So allow yourself to just get in touch with that part of you that says, I'm not worthy and deserving of this. Rate that on a scale of 0 to 10. Allow yourself to be aware of any thoughts, beliefs, or memories that might come up that feel like evidence about this. Take a deep breath, open your eyes. And if you're not already familiar with EFT, just taking the index fingers, fingertips of your index and middle finger, just tap where I tap and repeat back what I say. Even though I doubt that I'm deserving, I choose to love and accept myself anyway. Even though I doubt that I'm deserving, I choose to love and honor myself anyway. Even though I doubt that I'm deserving. And I have all kinds of ideas about things I would like to have in my life. And part of me says, who do you think you are? That's for other people. And even though I doubt that I'm worthy and deserving, I choose to deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. And maybe anybody else who might contribute to these beliefs. All this doubt that I'm deserving. All this doubt that I'm worthy. And maybe I wonder, how much am I deserving of? Well, I can look at my circumstances. I can look at what I have in my life. I can look at my bank account. And that tells me what I believe I'm deserving of. Not because I'm bad or stupid. Not because I'm weak or lazy. But because I have all this old programming of what I deserve, of what I'm worthy of. I'm giving myself permission to challenge that. I'm open to the possibility that part of me knows better. If I didn't know I was worthy, I wouldn't be here tapping right now. If I didn't know I deserved more, I wouldn't put it on my vision board. I wouldn't even imagine it. I would stop myself before I even thought about it. When I have those thoughts about what I want, it's because part of me knows I'm deserving of it. If I went down to the beach and I looked at the beauty of the ocean, would I really say, I don't deserve this? Would the ocean tell anybody, you don't deserve to see me? If I go out at night and look up at the stars in the sky, do I ever question whether I'm deserving of that? Right now, as I'm breathing, Every time I inhale, I am making a request of the universe. Do I ever say, well, I'm not really deserving of this, but I hope you'll give me some oxygen anyway? And the universe always says yes. If I'm worthy and deserving of oxygen, and the stars in the sky, and the ocean, what the heck am I not deserving of? Anything I'm telling myself that I'm not deserving of is a fabrication. It's a total misunderstanding. And I love and appreciate those parts of me that have been maintaining that fabrication based on some old misunderstanding, thinking that I had to hold on to this. Now I'm allowing myself to see I don't need to hold on to it anymore. I am a magnificent child of the universe. No matter what anyone else might have said. And I am worthy and deserving of the best this world has to offer. And there is literally nothing that is too good for me. And I'm getting clear on the distinction between deserving and entitlement. I am deserving of the best this world has to offer. It doesn't mean I'm entitled to the best this world has to offer. I can't sit here inside my house and say, I'm deserving of seeing the stars in the sky. I should be upset that I can't see them. I'm going to have to get my butt outside. I'm going to have to make the trip to the beach if I want to see the ocean. And sometimes because I can't see that view, I assume it means I'm not deserving. And if I feel undeserving, I'm not going to do what it takes. If I'm not deserving of the ocean, I'm not going to make the trip to the beach. I'm clearing up that confusion. I'm absolutely worthy of the view. I'm earning it by doing what it takes. There is nothing that is too good for me. So I'm giving myself the freedom to do what it takes. That's how I earn it. And I am worthy and deserving of it. No matter what anyone else might have said. People may have told me that I wasn't good enough. I may have a number of memories of people telling me that I'm unworthy. People say all kinds of crazy stuff. For thousands of years, they said the earth was flat. It has always been round. I have always been worthy and deserving. And I'm setting myself free to know that. In body, mind, and spirit. And take a deep breath. With your eyes closed, go inside and imagine what you want around you. And in the middle of this, looking at a full-length mirror and seeing yourself in the middle of all this and say, I'm worthy and deserving. And rate that again on a scale of 0 to 10. And just notice what that feels like. And hopefully that number has come up. Hopefully it's gone way up. But don't judge yourself harshly if it hasn't. And you may just be more aware of some of the limiting beliefs. When we're doing the tapping, it's often like peeling layers of the onion, and you may have tapped into some memory of, oh my goodness, I had totally forgotten this event where someone said something and made me feel unworthy. And then you can tap more specifically on that event and clear that out and get to the truth of, yes, of course you're worthy and deserving. And there's so much evidence, just even right now, in this moment, as you're breathing. Every time you ask for oxygen, the universe says yes. So the universe is letting you know, yes, of course you're worthy and deserving of that. And take a big, deep breath in and hold it. And let it go. And I want you to notice something important. In that moment, you asked for more. And what did the universe say? Did the universe go, no, you can try breathing deeper, but you're only going to get the same amount of oxygen that you were deserving of a moment ago? The universe gave you more oxygen. The universe said, yes, you're worthy and deserving. When you ask for more, you can allow more. But we so often don't ask for more because we say, well, I'm not going to take a deeper breath because I'm not deserving of that. Not true. It's just not true. Hope that makes sense.
Thank you so much, Brad. That was amazing. And I just realized when we were doing it at the end, you help people get to the truth of who they really are and what they it's just everything you're doing is just getting to the truth. You're not trying to convince people of what they aren't.
No.
Yeah.
It's like Michelangelo said, the masterpiece is already there inside the marble. I'm just chipping away what doesn't belong.
Okay, I'm gonna try to compose myself because it was so powerful. When I tap, like I really feel shifts in my energy, in my mental clarity, in my physical body, my emotional body. And it's very powerful, guys. I've been doing this for years, since 2017. And let me just tell you guys real quick. The first time I ever tapped is because I was in Ohio, Brad, and I had a fear of throwing up my whole life. Okay, I had a fear. You helped me with two fears, Brad. Throwing up and bugs. I cured these two fears because of you. And well, I did the work, but you told me what to do.
I'm just a guide.
You told me what to do. You gave me the tools. And so I did the tapping. Awa, she made me do it. And I was like, stupid. I don't want to do this. You're crazy.
Thank you, Awa.
In the work by spreading this message of Brad Yates. And so I did the tapping and something shifted, and I did it again and again. I did it like 10 times and a big shift happened. Same thing with bugs. I did it over and over and over. Guys, whatever you're dealing with, whatever it is, there's a tap for that. Okay. Okay. I got to get that shirt, Brad.
Yeah.
I don't know how that is a pun. So, question, how many videos do you have on YouTube right now? Do you know?
I don't know the exact number. It's over, it's well over 1,000. It's like 1,100 and something, I think.
It's absolutely incredible to watch you because we do tapping every day in this house, and like to see you like from the very, very beginning, which you were amazing in the beginning, but you clearly have honed and mastered your craft over the years. And now, you're just like the best EFT practitioner in the world. I have no doubts about that. Do you agree?
Personal, but that's like saying Eric Clapton is the best guitarist when Keith Richards, someone maybe for Keith Richards, I'm not saying I'm Eric Clapton. Don't name it. Oh, he thinks he's the Eric Clapton. No, just using an example of guitarists you might know. It's personal preference, but I definitely appreciate that. I'm very grateful for, what I'm able to do and how people respond to it.
Did you used to write them down? Did you ever write them down? Because I know you don't now.
It's always it's a download thing. I'll come up with ideas like, oh, I'll tap on deserving, and we'll see what happens. And so I'll just like right now, you said, can we tap on deserving? And you know, and some of the are phrases that I've used before. There's metaphors that I've used before, like the, you know, seeing the stars and things like that. But how it all comes together, it's like I just start going, and then it's like, all right, I'm just gonna get out of the way and let it come through me.
Yeah, I thought so. But, you know, you practicing and doing the work and putting in the work, you know, has really obviously, I mean, you're well over 10,000 hours, 20,000 maybe. And they say it takes 20,000 to be the best. And I think you are very clever of EFT. So, Brad, a question. We have some questions from the followers.
Yep.
Mama's Kitchen wants to know, I swear, this is a real question, Brad. How is Brad so very lovely? Can you please answer that? I'm serious. I would also like to know, how are you so lovely, Brad?
How do you respond to something like that?
Okay.
Hey, Vegas. Fred Kevin just signed on. Well, here's the thing. Anytime we're not being lovely, it's not because we're a bad person, it's because there's some level of pain, you know? And I've been tapping for over 20 years. I've cleared a lot of stuff. So the stuff that would come across as not lovely, a lot of that has been cleared. So I'm in a good place to be able to show up and be more of, you know, the David underneath all the marble, that masterpiece. The core of who we are is peace and love and joy. So the more we let go of what isn't that, the more that stuff just naturally shows up.
Yeah, it's the tapping, guys. It's the tapping, clearly.
You clear away what, well, it's you know, just like, you know, with healthy diet, you know, as you stop putting toxins into your body and you allow yourself to eliminate the toxins that are there, look what happens, health.
Yeah, absolutely, Brad. Jessica wants to know, this is a funny one. At what point did Brad realize he had tapped into something? You know, I love my friends on here. Well, another question is, like, who taught Brad how to tap? So, Brad, how did you discover tapping?
So I learned from Gary Craig, who was the founder of EFT, Emotional Freedom Techniques. He was one of the first students of Roger Callahan, who started using tapping in this way. I mean, again, it's based on acupuncture for thousands of years, kinesiology, Dr. Goodhart, Dr. Diamond, all these people who have been, you know, all these different works that have been in the process. I'd been an actor. I was, you know, traveled the world doing theater, went to Hollywood to be a movie star, met a woman, fell in love, got married. And when our first child was on the way, I thought, you know, I should probably have a backup career. So I became a hypnotherapist, you know, that would be a good career. And started doing that. And after a couple of years, realized that as much as I loved acting, personal development work was really what I felt called to do. So totally shifted. And through some other hypnotherapists, heard about this energy psychology stuff and this conference and this guy doing this tapping process. So I went to this conference and took this training with Gary. And what I think the thing that sold it for me most was when he gave everybody little pieces of chocolate and said, okay, on a scale of 0 to 10, how much do you want that chocolate? And I was a bit of a chocoholic at the time. And after, you know, I was like 8, 9 out of 10. And after a few minutes of tapping, I could not eat the chocolate. He said, you know, try to take a bite of it. It's like, oh, this is disgusting. I didn't eat chocolate for 2 years after that. Now, don't worry. You know, no one panic. I got better. I recovered from that. But it's also very easy for me again to then clear the craving. So like I've been on a sugar fast for a couple of weeks now, and it's not a willpower thing. It's just, you know, my wife and daughter might have some, you know, dessert, and it's like there's nothing in me going, I want that because I can clear the emotional craving. But in that moment of just going from I really want this piece of candy to I could not eat. I had as much interest in the foil wrapper as the chocolate. So it was like, there's something to this. And so I little by little started introducing it into my hypnotherapy sessions, and little by little it became the main tool that I used. still do a little bit of hypnosis at the end of my sessions and stuff like that. And then YouTube came along and I thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool if there was a tapping video people could use? And I'll call it Tap of the Morning. And that was all I intended to do, was that one video. And then 6 months later, I had I should do a tap of the evening. And then a few months later, I had another idea. And then now there's 1,000 plus.
And they're life-changing. Everything I do, every course I do, every client I work with, I recommend you specifically and your videos, because they have really transformed my life. And I know that everything starts in the mind. Everything is created twice, first in the mind and then in reality. And that's what tapping does for me. It helps me to create the life I want. And the cravings, you see, even Brad isn't perfect, guys. He had
so far from it.
He had a chocolate addiction. All right, we only have 15 minutes left, Brad. I have a million questions and 15 minutes, but
sorry I spent so long tapping.
No, it's such an honor. So now, people have questions, but guys, I have my own questions, okay? Get an interview with Brad and you can ask him your questions. Okay, so Brad, you like to say that you changed my life with this one too, okay? So at one of your seminars, you said that the things you think other people are thinking about you are actually the things that you're thinking about you. And when you said that, a light bulb went off, because I always thought, oh, people think I'm ugly or fat or my nose is too big or whatever. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking about me, because they weren't telling me to my face. I just thought they thought that.
We have this expression, oh, you're putting words in my mouth. It's like we're putting thoughts in other people's minds too. Because if I'm not thinking that about myself, why would I even imagine that someone else is thinking that? If I think I'm awesome, I'm going to imagine, well, of course they think I'm awesome. Why wouldn't they? And if they do say something negative about me, if I'm not believing it, it won't bother me. If I don't have some emotional tie to it, then them saying, it's like, well, I'm sorry you're confused about that. That's not the case. You know, when I read comments on YouTube, you know, unfortunately, it's like 0.5% of the comments I get on YouTube are that negative. But occasionally someone will say, oh, you're just, whatever, and this and that. And I look and I'm like, I'm sorry you see it that way, but it doesn't bother me, because I know that they've just misunderstood something. And I know that that's not true about me. If I know it's not true about me, it won't bother me.
I think you're the one who must have said it, that if somebody calls you like a tree, a pink tree, you're not going to get offended. Was that you?
I think the term I used back then was something like purple dinglehopper or something like that. But it was, it's like, someone says, something that you have no emotional attachment to.
That you're not thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
You're just a purple dinglehopper. You think so? Thank you. Gosh. Oh, that's an insult where you come from? Oh, you're so confused.
Attachment there. So guys, when somebody rejects you, or when somebody says something that hurts you, it's because there's something there that you believe. Because nobody can, like Brad just said, nobody can make you feel anything without your consent. That was Brad Yates and I think Eleanor Roosevelt. Both of them.
Yeah, right. And you can then, if they say something that hurts you, it's like, thank you for pointing out something I need to tap on. That's obviously something, because it's bothering me. It's something inside of me. And so I want to clear it. So thank you for, and when I clear that, life is going to be so much better. So thank you so much for letting me know what I need to tap on.
Yeah.
And rejection is just redirection. That's just somebody letting you know that you shouldn't waste any time on them. You can't do everything and be with everybody. And so they're just going, oh, no, you meant to be somewhere else. You've gone into the butcher shop and you're asking for a loaf of bread. And they're like, oh, no, you've come into the wrong shop. You need to go next door.
Rejection is redirection. And you know that, and I love you so much, Brad, because you have stepped into your greatness and you're doing what you were born to do. And that's what really inspires me about you. You could tell you were born to do this and change the truth. Born
to tap on my face.
Somebody's got to do it.
Exactly, it's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it.
but I just love seeing greatness. It's like watching Michael Jordan. Seriously, I wish that I could have watched Michael Jordan play, but I get to watch Brad Yates tap. So, okay, Brad, we have a question from Morning Dove Glory. How many times a day should we do it to make a difference? What do you say regarding that? Or how long do people need to, you recommend people tap?
I certainly recommend some tapping on a daily basis, even if it's just a few minutes. It's energy hygiene. You know, we have physical hygiene like brushing our teeth and taking a shower, and most of us do it on a daily basis of maintenance. We don't wait until the people around us are holding their nose and go, it's probably time to take a shower now. You know, oh, I see green stuff in the mirror and growing from between my teeth. It's probably time to brush my teeth. We want to stay ahead of it. So some tapping every day. How long you take a shower on a daily basis? It's like, I don't know. You know, how are you, you know, do you have a job that you get really sweaty and you get really dirty and you may have to take a longer shower? There may be stuff that you're working on. It's like, that's going to take, you know, a couple of hours of tapping today, maybe. You know, there's no one set amount, but and it's so funny because as you're saying, you know, we feel so good after we tap, and we sometimes forget about that. I forget about that sometimes. And so I hear from people all the time. It's like, oh yeah, I know how good tapping feels, and I just forget about it, and I'll go for weeks. And some people say, I haven't tapped for years. And sometimes that's resistance, because part of us might say, man, if I feel that good and I feel that free, things could really change in my life, and that feels unsafe. Oh, I think I'll forget how to tap.
Wow. Yeah. So do you think that everything we're doing is just to make us feel safe, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Wow.
Pretty much. The extent to which we are not experiencing what we say we want tends to be the extent to which we are resisting.
Yeah.
and we resist it because, for the most part, because it doesn't feel safe.
Yes. I have that written down, Brad. I wanted to say that. You said it first. No, because yeah, this is another one. Light bulb aha moment for me. The degree to which we're resisting, okay, is the degree to which we don't have it, guys. If you don't have something in your life and you want it, you're resisting it subconsciously or consciously. And so, yeah, I have
or it's something that you just don't want, in which case you're not putting any attention onto it.
Yes,
you know, there's something that's like, oh, I have no resistance to that, but I also have no interest in it. So, but it's one of those things that we say, I really want this. Either there's two possibilities. One, we don't really want it, and we're just telling ourselves, you know, not everybody wants a private jet. You know, I've been fortunate enough to be in a position to find out that some of the things I thought I wanted, you know, I obsessed about Porsche 911s for, you know, so long, having the brochures everywhere. And then on my birthday several years ago, I bought one. And within 3 weeks, I sold it back. It's like, this car doesn't fit my lifestyle. It was a nice idea. And, you know, and I know that I'm very fortunate to have been in a position to do that. But it's also, but I can see that with a lot of things where it's like, I say I want something and I'll put it on my vision board, and then I'll tap on and realize that may not be what I really want. And there's something else about that I think I want. You know, for most of these things, what we really want is to be happy, and we've convinced ourselves, or we've been convinced by others, we've been convinced by advertising, that this is what you want. This is going to make you happy. This car, this brand of you know, candy, whatever it might be, someone who looks this way, that's what's going to make you happy. And as we tap and recognize, I can feel happy right now. I don't need any of these things. And then I'm in a position to just attract what is really in resonance with me, what I really want. And we find things, you know, for years, I thought I wanted to be an actor. There's not an actor out there whose career I envy, because I love what I do so much. Like, I can't imagine an acting career that would be as fulfilling to me. So it's, you know, being able to be in that space of peace. And then we find those situations that it's like, yeah, this is awesome. You know, I found the car that I love. Drive the Subaru Crosstrek. Love this car. So, you know, and it just fits. It does everything that I needed to do. And so we, you know, as we clear that thing of, I need this in order to make me whole or to make me good enough, we naturally find. And those things might be on our vision board. And then those things that we really want that we're not having, then we can look at, why might I be resisting it? Is it that I'm not good enough? Is it that I don't feel safe? you know, and we clear that, and then we're just more open to allowing wonderful things to show up.
Yeah, and you just get down to the truth. That's what tapping is. It peels away the layers of the lies and the fear and all the doubts and the unworthiness. Okay, Brad. How can people, so first of all, everyone, right after this live, go to YouTube. If you're not subscribed to Brad, you are missing out. You are missing out on a life-changing tool that is so simple, free, and just so powerful. But Brad, you have some amazing courses and programs, and you do events. What are some things that people can look forward to, like to check out your website that you're doing right now?
Well, I just launched a new program called Tap Into Money.
Wow.
Which I'm thrilled with the comments that people are getting, because we have so much baggage about money, and it's just a course that takes you through and identify and clear that stuff out. I have a couple of live events coming up in London and Dublin. I've been doing events there every 2 years until the pandemic put a stop to that. So excited to be back and probably in New York in November. So you can find about, if you go to tapwithbrad.com, you'll see all that. So and thank you for mentioning that. I'm grateful for these opportunities to share this work.
Brad, are you coming? Please put Miami on your tour list, please, because me and I will move to Miami.
What'd you go and do that for?
We are living on the beach, Brad, because you convinced us that we're abundant and we deserve it.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
You know, Miami is on my list. I've been to Orlando. I have not yet been to Miami.
Brad, please make it to Miami. Or we'll travel wherever you go. We'll go to New York, whatever. Okay, last.
Certainly after the heat and the humidity has calmed down.
Yeah. Brad, last question. Even though I could ask you, I have a million more, but I want to let you go. I know you have a life. So here we go. The last question, Brad. What is Brad's last name? Yates. Yates. Go to YouTube right after this. Brad Yates. You will, trust me, you will not regret it. He is a life changer. And what you do, Brad, seriously, is making this world a better place. And so I just want to say thank you so much.
I'm going to have to write you a much bigger check than we had talked about. You know?
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I take Bitcoin too, Brad. But my last question is, if I put headphones on every single person in this world, every age, every person in every country, and I translated your voice into every language, what is a message, again, no pressure, Brad, but what's a message that you would like to tell everyone in the world today?
I would tell folks to allow themselves to love themselves, to acknowledge that they really are awesome, and please tap or do whatever to clear away the misinformation and the doubts about that, because not only does it feel better when we get to that place of acknowledging how good we are, we then share that with the world. You know, if I know that I have something good to offer, I'm going to share it with the world. I'm going to make the world a better place. So loving yourself is a win-win situation. And George, or Jorge, however you pronounce it, Lisbon, Portugal is definitely on my list. So.
Yes. Thank you so much, Brad. This has been such an honor. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for being you and sharing your gift with the world and changing so many lives on a daily basis and giving so much of yourself. Thank you, Brad. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for the invitation. It's great. It's always great to see you, Jeanette. And I gratefully appreciate this opportunity to share this work. And thank you to everyone who's joined us and has tapped. Toronto, that was one of the last places I was in before the pandemic.
Wow.
But I'll be back.
Basically,
I plan to get out to a lot of
tour.
Places as I can.
Do a world tour, Brad. Okay, just please.
Working on it.
After you do if you go to Brad's event live, you will leave so high and just, it's unbelievable. You'll be laughing for literally 6-8 hours straight. You feel so amazing, like you're high, like you're on drugs, but you're not. You're on tapping with Brad. So thank you, Brad. I love you. I thank you for everything.
Likewise. Take care.
Bye. Bye, guys.